Sunday, February 10th, 2013, started out like any other day. I went to church with my family. I had my husband and my 4 children with me. We were about 10 minutes into the meeting, and suddenly I had this overwhelming urge to kind of lean into my husband a little bit. And so I did. And he, of course, was thrilled and put his arm around me because, like most couples, we don't have as much time together as we'd like. But then to his horror and mine, we discovered that my face went from resting on his shoulder to sliding down to where I was into his armpit practically. And I couldn't do anything about it, and he was quite alarmed. And the person up in front on the podium, on the stand, saw that something wasn't quite right, and so kind of made a motion to come down and help. Now, this next part that I'm going to share with you, I know primarily because of what onlookers shared with me. I could hear, and I could feel, and I could see when I chose to open my eyes, but as you hear my story unfold, you're going to realize why I chose to keep them closed. But what happened is I just lost all muscle control, and I just collapsed into my husband. And now I'm 5'10", right around 200 pounds. And the reason I tell you that is because imagine trying to extricate a 5'10", 200-pound wet noodle out of the pew and out of the room. Now, one of the tenets of our religion is service, but I can promise you they didn't have any lessons on how to take 5 or 6 men to carry a wet noodle out of the room. So I could feel that they were trying to figure out where to put their hands on me that would be appropriate, and I could hear women and other onlookers who were sitting there, I imagine in horror, watching the whole thing, as they would whisper quite loudly, "Her dress is coming up." And bless the men who were helping me, they were kind enough not to groan or grunt in despair as they were trying to get me out of the room. And I had heels on. I love to wear heels, but boy, I'll tell you, those things caught every piece of every armchair or leg chair and every piece of the bench and any person who was too shocked to get out of the way. But gradually they make their way out of the room with me as my dress is sliding up. So anyway, fast forward out into the foyer, and we find someone had found a wheelchair, and so they positioned me in the wheelchair, and the next most pressing need I had was that I was kind of coughing and gagging a little bit, and I had a cough drop in my mouth, and I was truly terrified that that was going to be my undoing, that I was going to die choking on a cough drop. And so I'm trying to communicate somehow to let someone know that I have this cough drop in my mouth. And this lovely little lady in front of me finally figures out what it is that I'm trying to say, and she gets her little finger in there and starts fishing around, and thankfully gets that cough drop out. I'm laughing now, I promise you I wasn't then. So someone has called the ambulance, and they're getting ready to get me out the door, and someone decides that I might feel better if I have my legs up. And so we're all novices here, and they go and take my feet up and put them up, but no one was standing behind me or had anchored the wheelchair, so I go free-falling back, right on the back of my head, out of that wheelchair. Managed to stay conscious, though I still have no body control. They get me into the ambulance, and as the people are trying to get me in there and get me fastened on there so they can transport me, my arms keep falling off because I have no muscle control. And my arms keep falling down, and bless the little technician's heart, they're stepping on my fingers, not realizing it as they're trying to get me over to the hospital. Oh, you guys, I can laugh about it now. It was super scary and stressful. My poor little family, they didn't know if I was, none of us knew what was going on. Over the course of the next year, we had lots of little adventures that we can laugh about now. But it was crazy hard and stressful. I don't know if you're sitting here watching this, but if you think about it, like right now as I'm sitting here, I'm not really thinking about it because it's so natural, but I'm literally holding myself up. If you take just a second while you're sitting here watching this and just kind of let yourself go, like don't try to hold yourself up, you get a little bit of a sense of what it's like when you lose control like that. And the problem that I had is that when I would collapse, and that happened over the course of a year several times, then I didn't have any control of where my head or my neck would go. And so if somebody wasn't there with me and they couldn't straighten me out, I was in trouble. And so my kids used to call it mommy time, and they used to take turns, and when they would see me go down, they would make sure that my head was straight. And then I had this kind of sense of being disconnected, almost not like I was out of my body, but it was just so lonely and scary. And so when I would come back around, I would tell them, it helps if you guys will like rub my arm or talk to me or something. And so my son, he was about 10 at the time, and when it was his turn to be on mommy duty, he would sit there and he would run his fingers through my hair, and he would put his little finger right here and he'd twirl in my hair and sing songs to me about how you are my sunshine and things like that. And it was some of my most tender memories in all of that hard stuff. That initial fall down, can't get up, we thought they were seizures. That initial incident was the beginning of many over that next year. And they kind of morphed into panic and anxiety attacks, because just the thought of doing that in public would kind of be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, I have a free pillow I got from Walmart because they donated it to me after I collapsed and started dry heaving in the aisle, and the little gentleman who was working there brought me a pillow to try to give me some comfort. I mean, we're talking pride busters right and left. They don't let you drive when you're falling down and can't get up. I learned some pretty important things from this. I learned that I remember not really making a deal with God, but I do remember telling him that if I got on the other side of this, that I was going to make an effort to get to know people and be more of a friend and reach out more, because there were an amazing number of people in my church and in my community who reached out and basically served as taxi for myself and my family over that course of that year. I also learned that nutrition plays a much bigger role in my mental and physical health than I ever imagined. And it was this crazy hard experience that brought Empower Plus into my life. One of the ladies who served most often as our taxi, if you will, happened to have encountered this product. And one day she gives me a call and says, "Hey, what's your address?" And I can hear her typing my address into her computer. And I said, why are you typing my address into your computer? And she said, "I heard this talk from a lady last night, and she has a book. And I didn't know about bipolar and the hard things that you deal with before I met you, but she's dealt with that, and she takes this vitamin, and it's helped her, and maybe it'll help you." And I thought, okay. And so she sent me the book, and that was Autumn Stringham's A Promise of Hope. And boy, talk about resonate. We had a lot of things in common. I was able to actually find out about and try the product a couple of weeks later, where they had a meeting over in a town near me, and I was able to go, and I was amazed at the things that people were talking about. And if I'm going to be straight up with you, I didn't actually know if it was going to work, but I thought I'll try it, and even if it doesn't help me, then I'll tell other people about it. But I also bawled when I heard that they were marketing the product through a multi-level marketing company. I was like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why would you do that? You take something so amazing and so powerful and just shoot yourself in the foot. Everybody hates an MLM. What are you thinking? But what I've come to learn for myself is, one, it does make a difference. In my own personal experience and in the experience of my family members, I mean, we have some fun stuff. We have autism spectrum and a lot of other hard things that we're dealing with. And in our personal family, everyone benefits and does better, feels better, has fewer symptoms, able to contribute more and function more, and when we have the proper nutrition. And our foundation for that has been this product, the Empower Plus. The other thing I realized, that multi-level marketing companies are not a bad thing. At least this one's not. It really does matter that you can share a story with somebody. You need to be able to tell them the things that I've learned in the years that I've been taking this. So as we're recording this right now, I'm going on 6 years of not having to be on any medications, and I have fewer symptoms and struggles than I've ever had in my life. Is it magic? No. I still have to learn how to be a consistent parent. I need to learn how to cope when things are stressful. I need to know all the things that I needed to know before I started taking this product. But here's the difference. The difference is I'm more of who I really am, and I have more of me to bring to that equation. And that's what's so amazing about this. And so in our family, we've learned that when we have proper nutrition and we use this product as the foundation, we've also tried to eat more healthfully. We've learned more about healthful eating and including more fruits and vegetables, organic when we can, that kind of thing. I've also started to include yoga and meditation. And there are a number of really amazing things out there that can help us have a better quality of life. But what I experienced firsthand for me was that mental health struggles and addiction are as close as I ever want to get to not having agency, to not being able to choose. I mean, for me, I couldn't even choose to stay standing upright, for heaven's sakes. So when I had brought this product into my life, and I take it consistently, and I'm real good at that, then I have what I need to bring in the other things that can help me to function and have the quality of life that I want. And I'm a little sad to say, but I never even prayed for this. I never prayed for this solution to come into my life, because I accepted that I had a specific set of symptoms, I had a diagnosis, there's no cure, and you take the meds and get by the best you can. And there's a time and a place for that. I'm just really grateful that I was blessed to have this trial that came into my life that was the means whereby this amazing product could come into my life. It's changed my life, it's changed the lives of my family members and so many people that I love, and I am truly eternally grateful for it.